I honestly cannot stress just how happy and excited I am that the live service game model is starting to die, or at the very least has already died off. Because for the last couple of years, we have gotten some really bad live service style kind of games that just I sit here every single day wondering what the hell they were doing with this. Because I mean, you have to just look at these examples. I mean, let's talk about the most recent one. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Wow. What a mess of a game. And I don't even have the right words to say about this game. I mean, any other YouTubers have talked bad about how this game is and just how awful it represents the Batman Arkham character from the other Arkham games, which is just, it's ridiculous to me. I mean, it really is. I know that technically the ending story in the final season of this game does try to fix it, but it's like still the damage is done. I mean, this is the last game that Kevin Conroy is in. And this is how the game basically pays homage to him as a character, and not only as a character in the Arkham games, but as his legacy out everything he has voiced over the years. So it's really cathartic in a way to see this game fail as bad as it did. I mean, it sucks that it did get an offline mode, so it's still going to be technically alive for years to come, but I don't think anyone's really going to want to remember this game. But it doesn't stop there. Oh, no. The next one up on the list is Destiny 2, which I will be making a video in the future about my experience with Destiny 2. And while I don't regret a good chunk of it, the rest of it, ugh, what a mess. Because Destiny 2, literally for years, has been just slowly falling apart. And this goes all the way back to, I even argue, like 2020. It's just been a slow decline in burn. And honestly, with all the layoffs that happened last year, even parts of this year with so many studio heads leaving, like even the guy in charge of the weapons sandbox, Chris Proctor, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I mean, he left literally, or he's getting ready to leave to go to another studio. And it's just such a mess of a game now at this point. And honestly, Bungie only has themselves to blame. I mean, they've wasted the money that they've earned over the years. There was that video press conference that came out quite a while ago that basically, in a nutshell, if you want to save yourself the time, the main guy on stage, I don't think it was the CEO, but I think it was one of the game directors in some department, basically outright says that they want to make Destiny 2 do the bare minimum and completely go into the fear of missing out model, or FOMO. And it's just insidious. And you can finally see the fruits of their labor, rather, finally starting to bite them in the literal butt. And because all you have to do is just look no further at how they're doing now. I mean, their festive season that came out back in December was such a mess. And I actually played during that, and yeah, it was a mess. It's just, how do you even screw that up so badly? I mean, I guess that's what happens when you fire most of your Q&A team that's supposed to bug test your freaking game. So I digress. But I mean, that's really the biggest example I like to say is a fall from grace. Because I mean, Bungie was the studio back in the day where, you know, you had Halo and even Destiny 1. Say what you will about that game, at least it had still the community sorted together over time in some weird way. But now it's like a lot of the Destiny YouTubers, they've either gone over to other games, they're still kind of covering Destiny 2, or they flat out went to Warframe for some of them. And it's just like, how do you drop the ball so hard like that? And then finally, one of the last examples I want to use is Avengers, or Marvel's Avengers is the full name. And that game was, I've played it. I don't think it's the worst game in the world, but man, I remember they just kept releasing updates that made the game harder and more grindier, that just wasted your time for the stupidest things. And you could see why people just left the game after so much time. And now you know what happened to that game? It got delisted. I own a copy, but I got it for cheap, just to actually own it on some level. But yeah, like, it's completely gone. You can't get it anymore. It's over. I mean, you can still play it offline and everything, but it's gone. Poof. Bye-bye. So, so those are the three examples that I can give. And all the reasons of why they all failed. And the common theme throughout all of these three things is very simple. It's the fact that they wanted to nickel and dime their players and did nothing but put their profits first instead of actually player enjoyment. And that's all it really is when you want to break it down on a very simple level, is they didn't care about player enjoyment. They just cared about keeping you attached to the game as long and as best as they could, just to get as, again, much money as possible from you. I mean, even the recent Call of Duties kind of do this, but I wouldn't really call those games fully live service because they always, they start with one game, then drop it every friggin' year, and it's like, oh well. And then another thing, too, is, again, they don't make these games, like, fun to play. Why would I want to play, for example, the Suicide Squad? Why would I want to play as characters from Suicide Squad that only use guns? Why not have them all have their own unique melee abilities? I mean, again, bringing Avengers into this, at least Avengers, they all had their heroes with unique abilities and everything. There were some heroes that did recycle all their abilities, but they still mixed and matched them to actually still make them feel unique. Meanwhile, Suicide Squad, they did nothing. Just different guns and abilities and points and whatnot. And you're just like, really? I mean, even you have to just look into the game with the HUD options and even just how much clutter just comes on the screen. You're just like, what is going on? Why am I seeing so much like garbage being flashed into my face? So why do some live service kind of games like Warframe and Fortnite, why are they the few successors, the diamonds in the rough? And I've played both of these extensively, which is why I use these examples, because I don't know of any other live service games out there. And if you know of any that are pretty good or solid all around, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, because I'd like to know some other good positive examples. But in the case of, for some example, Fortnite, which is one I've played extensively over the years, and I really just think it comes down to just whenever Fortnite has like a limited event, it doesn't feel like you have to grind terribly to get everything in there. You might have to grind a couple hours, but the event lasts for an X amount of time. And some of these events that I participated in, case in point, like the Star Wars event that they might have every year, it always feels like I have plenty of time to go through and enjoy it and still, not feel like I'm being squeezed out of something. For example, like my time in life. Because even when you also take into consideration how easy it is to earn Battle Pass XP, I mean, you can earn it in creative, you can earn it in different modes. Even Fortnite Save the World, which is a game I still play, you can earn Battle Pass XP and can still progress the pass fast enough while playing a mode that you enjoy. Like, there's so many different ways to rank up the Battle Pass to where if you play the game consistently, it feels like you're making progress. It's not like you're feeling artificial progress. Like, you're actually seeing the progress being made. At least that's how I look at it. I mean, Fortnite isn't completely perfect. Their skin shop is maybe a bit egregious with some of the pricing of some of their items. But, again, they got to make their money somehow. So, there is that because they are free to play. But still, regardless, that's at least how I feel Fortnite is successful in my experience in playing. But throwing Warframe also into the mix, Warframe, whenever I'm grinding for something, it feels like I can easily obtain it. Obviously I need to put the effort to get it. For example, relic farming to get pieces to build new Warframes. I mean, push comes to shove, you can always get platinum and just buy those parts and then craft them yourself, which it does save time. Like, if you have the money, it does help save kind of time in that regard, but it doesn't feel pay to win, so to speak. Because, again, all those pieces you can get to build those Prime Warframes, you can not only earn them, but you can sell them to get platinum, to then trade to get other things that you want, or to, make platinum to buy the things that you want. There's a whole trading economy, which I've mentioned in my, why Warframe gives me hope video. And I could, like I said, I could break down Warframe because it has so many good things about it. In my experience playing it, I mean, it has some. Warframe's not a perfect game. I've been playing through some of the quests, and let me tell you, some of these quests are designed terribly. But at least with Warframe, there is no FOMO model, something that Destiny loves to kind of, be proud of in a sense. There's no FOMO model. All the content that Warframe has had over the years is more or less still there. It's still playable on some level. I mean, yeah, there's a lot, and, I'm not even anywhere halfway done with it, but it's there. It's to still be played and enjoyed on some level. So, you're not missing any sort of content, and new players can still follow along in the story. Something again Destiny 2 doesn't do, because Destiny 2 removed content. But I digress. Trust me, this video could honestly be so much longer, because there's a lot to talk about this. And honestly, I could even make a part 2 if that's something you guys are interested in. But I think the part 2 from this video is going to be my experience with Destiny 2, because there's definitely some stuff I want to talk about that, because my experience in time with Destiny 2 is a whole journey in itself. But anyway, the last question I want to pose is, do we really still need live service games? Like, are they the bread and butter of this industry? Ha! No. God, no. I hope to God it never does again. And I honestly think the live service industry needs to just die. We don't need these kind of games to come back, because it's just predatory and messes. Case in point, what I said before. I mean, the concept of them isn't bad. It's just, they're just a way for corporations to, again, squeeze money out of us, because that's what kind of the AAA space is turning into now. It's just squeezing players out of their money with the hopes that they'll be able to make as much money as possible before they have to move on to the next big thing. Because that's all they care about, is their bottom line at the end of the day. So, do we still need them? Not necessarily. I mean, all we really need is just games to just be good games first, and then the money comes second. Don't make games to make money, especially those crypto games and scams. Don't make those kind of games. Make games that are actually going to be fun for players to play, and then worry about the money afterwards, and then build a model around it that's actually going to make the player feel good, but also you still making some money in the process. Because at the end of the day, a business has got to make money to keep its doors open. So I'm not against that. I don't think any normal, sane person is against that, unless you're a communist. But that's all there is to it, is just make good games first, and then worry about the money afterwards as it starts coming in. So anyway, that's all I have to say about this video. Anyway, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, maybe hit that little notification bell to let you know when I post a video, as I'm still trying to find out a good time to schedule and post videos. Saturday's video will not be coming out. Instead, it'll probably be coming out Sunday, as I am having a little bit of a birthday celebration, because I am turning 25 tomorrow. So I'm having a friend stay over for a bit, so he will be leaving in the evening. So I don't know if I'll have necessarily enough time to post a video, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think for the most part, I'll just post this video first thing Sunday morning, and we'll go from there. So anyway, you have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you Sunday morning.